Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, baby. We're back with another Monday and another week of Donald Trump to continue to make America great again. This guy does not stop. He is sitting there signing executive orders. He's making holidays on Super Bowl Sunday. He is taking care of business, folks, and we have a lot of news to cover. I mean, going and preparing for the show this weekend, I didn't know what to choose because it was like a buffet. It was a buffet of nothing but greatness. And I was like, I can't just throw all desserts at the Patriots, you know, because then we're gonna get bloated. And I'm like, well, I can't give too many entrees either. So we got to do a little bit of appetizers at the beginning, and then we'll jump into the meat and the good stuff, folks. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I did absolutely nothing, which was much needed. If you're not following me over at TikTok, we have what counts as something going viral nowadays? That's my question. Because let's just say the TikTok that I posted yesterday and also my YouTube short, as of this morning, meaning less than 24 hours, this is 12 hours of just one video. As of right now, over 110,000 views on TikTok. And I've gained like 3,000 followers from that one video. So we're blowing up over there. We're making a splash. Well, thought I'd share that news with you. I hope you had a lovely weekend, Patriots. I see y'all in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me on this fine Monday morning. Now let's get into it. Let's start off with a little bit of fun news here. Donald Trump slap around the media. We always like seeing that one. Where Trump smokes the Huffington Post reporter in brief exchange on Air Force One. I got a clip. And it's very reminiscent of the New York Times. Here we go.
Vice President suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like, they can just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with?
Up close, sir.
Who?
Up close.
Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died. All right, go ahead. Who else?
I'm still a little under the weather, so I got to be careful if I laugh so I don't freaking cough into the mic. I thought they died. That poor guy, dude, just on Air Force One, probably living out his lifelong dream to cover the office of the presidency. And the president just... Oh, God, I love our president. The vice president suggested that the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like. They could just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that? I don't even know what you're talking about. What is it? Who got this guy on the plane? Sir, go get me a Diet Coke. Go grab it downstairs. Jeez, dude. Trump is such a savage, man. He just does not give a shit. Now, here's some breaking news. And when I'm saying breaking, it dropped 4 hours ago. Says 2 a.m. my time. You saw something funny? Now we're in a roller coaster ride. So I gave you the appetizer that was like a soup. Now we're getting into a little bit of the chunky stuff here. Doge! Team just discovered. Did we not call this? Did we not call this? They discovered that FEMA sent almost $60 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal immigrants. Saying this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. Correctamundo! That money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. A clawback demand will be made today to recoup those funds. Time out. I was told I was a conspiracy theorist for 4 years saying this was happening. For 4 years, Patriots, we were all here. Oh, you're making it up. It's cheap fakes. It's deep fakes. It isn't real. Those conservative podcasters. Really? Remember, folks, I said whatever number that was being spent on illegal immigration is a lot higher because they're not accounting for all of it. I said Joe Biden in 4 years spent $1 trillion on illegal immigration. And I guarantee you're going to find that money. Because here's just 60. Folks, this is 1 week. 1 week. They were pulling money everywhere to fund illegal immigration. Everywhere. Joe Biden, that diaper was full of more than just crap, folks, let me tell you. More than just the doo-doo. So that's happening. So here's the controversy that's taking place. Elon Musk announced, again, 60 million. You have this happening. How the F were illegal immigrants getting $59 million to stay in luxury hotels? Just last week, by the way, when FEMA tried to kick out 3,000 Hurricane Helene victims in Western North Carolina out of hotels in the winter. Could someone explain this to me? No, I don't think they can. The only thing that makes sense is this party, I mean, the Democrat Party is a bunch of scumbags, disgusting, slimy, evil people, man. And they did this under Donald Trump's administration. They did this that went against what he wanted and what the American people want. Breaking the law and sending American tax dollars to house illegals. People need to go to jail for this. Well, I would love to see a lot of people go to jail for what he's uncovering right now. I wrote on X asking, hey, Elon, can we backtrack this? Because I want to know the senator or House of Representatives, congressperson that put this thing forward that allowed people to spend $60 trillion, let's say, on transing monkeys, rice, and little animals. These people don't care about your money you get. They're not for us. I know we keep saying this. Democrats want bigger government for some ungodly reason. And you see what happens when things get bloated and get too big is things go under the rug. Things go missing. Case in point, how we've lost $1 trillion twice in my lifetime alone. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Kicking out it's so I'm gonna take a sip here because I'm gonna lose my mind. Kicking out Americans, man, and replacing them with freaking illegal immigrants is insane. But they've done it in the past. That's not the first time. That is not the first time. Patriots, we know this one. Who did they originally kick out of hotel rooms and replace them with illegal immigrants from Afghanistan and Iraq? If you said our veterans who served in Afghanistan and Iraq, you'd be correct. Yes, sir. 3 years ago, maybe 2, the Biden administration was kicking out our veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan and was replacing them with illegal immigrants from Iraq and Afghanistan. And I said there could be actually a possibility here where you would have fought against the guy that wanted to kill you. You make it home alive, but you're all messed up. And then that dude comes over here illegally and kicks you out of your hotel room in your own country. And Democrats will go, hey, screw you and all the help we're supposed to give you as a veteran of this country, but we'll make sure we give it to an illegal immigrant and uplift him because for some ungodly reason, America's second, according to the Democrat Party. Freaking bonkers. I'm not wrong. I am not wrong. Oh, no. Now, let's try to figure out what the heck Trump has done over the last 2 weeks and what's been going on, okay? We're going to go through this quite a bit because I have a lot to cover. So keep it up with Trump. Here's everything he's done in the past 2 weeks. Aircraft crash, okay? We saw that one, the 67 crew members. Trump held a press conference. He did that one. The education. Trump took several actions on education, including signing an executive order last week prohibiting federal funding for schools teaching radical anti-American ideologies, including critical race theory and gender ideology. Another executive order on school choice directs the education secretary to determine how states can use federal funds to support school choice. Now, I don't know how they plan on doing this because you see down here, the Department of Education tends to handle funds that, I guess in this case, would go to school's choice, but you're going to dissolve the Department of Education. So I don't know what the long-term plan of Trump doing this is. Is it something that you want to leave up to the states to siphon those funds and redistribute those? I'm not exactly sure. So a lot of great things that are happening in education, but also a lot of things that aren't really going to change the education system. Gender ideology. He signed executive orders committing the United States to not fund or support the so-called transition of child from one sex to another. Thank God. Isn't this obvious? hey, maybe we shouldn't be experimenting on children and lopping off their genitals and castrating them. Seems like a pretty obvious thing to me. If you are trans, if you in your mind think that you're a man when in actuality you're a biological woman, then you can wait till you're 18 to do whatever you want. We've all had parents and we've all been teenagers and kids going, well, I want to do this. And the parent goes, well, you could do it when you turn 18. There you go. It's that easy. It's that easy. But for some reason, for Democrats, they think children can make decisions. But then in another scenario, they're not able to make decisions. It falls apart. Over the last 2 weeks, President Trump secured 6 more Israeli hostages and an American Israeli citizen held by Hamas. The president said he would like to see Egypt and Jordan accept more Palestinian refugees. We'll see if that actually happens. He spoke recently with Jordan's king and Egypt's president about the Hamas hostage situation and is set to visit the White House later this month. So that would be the king of Jordan coming to the White House, I think, in the next couple weeks here. Trump made waves internationally when he proposed the United States take over Gaza after settling the Palestinian population. Now, Trump over the weekend did reiterate that he wants Gaza. I want to buy it. I want to take it over. I want to turn it into a casino. So we'll see what goes on. Now, he's saying no boots on the ground. I don't know, Mr. President. You're going to try and displace 1.7 million people, sir. I don't know, but hey, you know what? I'm willing to hold out and see what this man has. I'm gonna let Trump cook for a bit. Immigration, look, we know what's going on with that. Deporting a bunch of people. He's finally got some illegal immigrants sent off to Gitmo, which has been nice. He's doing trade here. I mean, the guy is just working, folks. The stuff. I mean, it keeps going. By the way, it just keeps going. Just heads up. The guy is relentless, and it's awesome to see. And can we mention the guy's working for free, folks? He's not getting paid. Not like Joey, who's laundering money from Romania, China, and Ukraine. Nothing ever came of that one. I saw when I went to Barnes & Noble this weekend that James Comer came out with a book that was showing the Biden family corruption, where all the money was going. So I took a picture of it. I didn't buy it yet, but I might. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Smash that like button if you enjoy seeing what Trump is doing, making America great again, because I'm absolutely loving it. Now, here's a callback to what's going on with the Iranians and wanting to assassinate Donald Trump here. Iran did, in fact, place terrorists in the United States with access to surface-to-air missiles to take down Trump plane. I am bringing this up because, once again, we were told this was fake news. We made this up. They didn't really allow Iranians into the interior of the United States. Joey was in office. Why would he do that? The border's secure, remember? DHS Secretary, the prior one, Alejandro Mayorkas, the thumb, told us it was fine. He told Congress, Jim Jordan, straight to his face, the border's secure. Nobody can get across this. It's the most secure border that's ever happened. And we said, well, no, we're pretty sure, because we came out with reports from the Sean Ryan podcast that surface-to-air missiles, 5 of them, I believe it was, crossed over the Mexican border, and they were going after trying to shoot Trump's plane down. And that's why Trump had to use different planes for like the last few months of running his campaign. So Iran's efforts to assassinate President Trump were far more extensive than previously reported, as was the president's fear of having another attempt on his life. Yeah. In his new forthcoming book, Revenge, the inside story of Donald Trump's return to power, political reporter Alex says that he was given extensive access to Trump's inner circle during his campaign. Law enforcement officials warned Trump last year that Tehran had placed operatives in the United States with access to surface-to-air missiles. And who was president? Joe Biden was. And if you think that that was the only team here to go and harm and hurt Americans, you got another thing coming to you, because they are still here. There is still thousands of terrorists here. There are still thousands of illegals here that committed heinous crimes in their own country, and we're trying to get rid of them as quickly as we can. But it ain't fast enough. And I told you I was going to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire. You doing like 180 illegals a day that are criminals, murderers, sex traffickers, drug traffickers, all these things. They were doing 10,000 a day under Joe Biden's administration. So we should be doing at least 10,000 deportations a day. I wanted to see planes flying over every 15 minutes going, oh my God, there's another one. Trump's team worried that the Iranians could try to down his easily recognizable plane jet, better known as Trump Force One, as it was taking off or landing. So I pretty much gave you all the details there. He just reiterates what I've already known, and nothing new. Now, it's new to a lot of people because a lot of people are trying to feed their families. They're trying to work because of the economy of what Joe Biden left Donald Trump, and he has to fix it. Now, people always look at the stock market going, well, the stock market's great, the economy's fine. Look at what Joe Biden did with inflation. The change in inflation was just the change from year after year. Your prices still went through the roof, and by the way, aren't going to change. He did everlasting damage on this country. The goal here of Doge and what I'm calling the greatest tag team that's ever existed between Donald Trump and Elon Musk is to stagnate prices and to alleviate the inflation as well as the interest that's on all our mortgages, our vehicles, say whatever, to be able to refi, bring those interest rates down, hopefully bring up a little bit more of your wages. And that way, even though things stagnate, you're still able to afford them. You still have more money in your pocket. You're not going to be taxed as much. And hopefully we can lower this overall deficit where you could maybe, and now this is me being really wishful, maybe even lower taxes than what they were when Trump leaves office after 4 years. God, that would be great, wouldn't it? So that's the end goal. If you think that we're going back to the prices of, which I would wish, like $4 a box for cereal, it ain't going to happen. Maybe where you're at, but in California, boxes are still $6. I look at certain gauges. I used to be able to get a California Pizza Kitchen frozen pizza for like $4.99 when Joey took office. That bad boy is like $8.99 right now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Patriots, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, smash that like button. I see all you in the chat. If we have so much money to give away, why not give it to the U.S. citizens for things like diabetes, medication, or free medication for seniors or the disabled? Yes, thank you. See, the Patriots in chat get it. Now, that goes a little bit deeper, but you're finding out that we have a lot more money probably going around than what we thought we had. You know what I mean? It's like you opening up the laundry and finding out, well, there's $20. And then you don't tell your wife about it because you know she's going to take it from you. Now you got beers with the boys on a Sunday night. In this case, the beers would be the medication, diabetes stuff and everything like that. Oh, Lord, we have a good time here. If you're not having a good time, well, I am. I'll tell you that much. I'm having a great time hanging out with you guys. You also have Trump admin sued over plans to place thousands of USAID workers on leave. Of course, there's always some judge out there that's a lefty that has to ruin it for everybody else. So 2 government unions representing U.S. Agency for International Development, meaning these scumbags that stole all our money and gave it to somebody else and we can never get it back again. Isn't it a remarkable thing? We are working our asses off. I work 3 jobs and do this as a hobby for fun. That's not me complaining, but gee, I would love to know that my money's going to people that live here, that need it, i.e. what was just spoken of, what the patron in the chat said of medication, diabetes, helping Americans, veterans, get them off the streets, help them out, get some sort of mental help, some physical, actual like hospital help too for any injuries they may have. It's not hard. I got no qualms with that. So, but you want to fire a bunch of people that wanted to pay for trans surgeries and trans operas in other countries. Yeah, I think you should be fired. I have no empathy for this, by the way. No empathy. The suit filed by the American Foreign Service Association, who even forgetting there was such a thing, and the American Federation of Government Employees accuses President Donald Trump of creating a global crisis through his actions to pause certain USAID programs. So you notice it's a global crisis. We're having a crisis here in America. At what point, I want to know, guys, at what point do you think we hit our crisis in terms of our debt? Was it 10 trillion, 5 trillion? Because we're at 36 trillion right now, going up to 37. What do you think was our crisis moment? For me personally, it was when we crossed $1 trillion in debt. That was me personally. Now we're 36 trillion. I would say that's a little bit of a crisis, but yeah, let's keep sending our money to all these other countries. Now that's a great idea because we'll never pay it down at that point. Trump reportedly plans to reduce staffing levels at the agency from thousands to hundreds. I think it was supposed to go from like 14,000 to like 250 people or something like that. which makes sense. Look, Elon did that with X. All these companies are bloated. There's people not doing jack bleep, you guys. Nobody's working hard in the government. They're out there writing checks, sending it to Zimbabwe, and hoping that, it actually gets to them, when in reality, it probably gets recycled and circled back to some sort of Democrat. Kind of like you have from Gavin Newsom here with the high-speed rail, where the high-speed rail, he spent billions and billions of dollars over the course of 20 years, I want to say? Billions. I'm talking like tens of billions of dollars. He's built, I think, 12 feet of rail. Nobody wants to audit that. So he's reducing plans. They're all up in arms over it. They get all their panties in a bunch. Elon Musk and his team at Trump's Department of Efficiency program has been behind much of the efforts to get USAID. Musk said on Monday that Trump had given him the go-ahead to start shutting the agency down. Good, shut it all down. And they are. They took the plaques off the building. They got black duct tape and started duct taping all the USAID signs that are around Washington, D.C. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Got no qualms with that. A lot of people were asking on Twitter and on X and TikTok, is Trump doing more than you expected, or is he doing better? What is he doing? I'm like, he's doing more than, he's doing everything I wanted, but my wish list, you know what I mean? I voted for him based on everything he said he was going to do, but then I had my own wish list over here where I'm like, God, man, if I could see this in my lifetime, even if, and I really do mean this, you guys, even if we're not able to turn the ship around, meaning this country, I lived through one of the greatest moments in politics in this country's history. I went from the greatest president to the worst president to the greatest president again, and watching a guy do everything I had hoped for since I was a teenager. The Pentagon's being audited right now, big time. Pete Hegseth, Elon Musk, going in. I was an accountant, you guys, before I was a teacher. This right now, what's happening with the government is me salivating and looking at the buffet going, oh my God. It is an accountant's dream. A conservative Republican accountant's dream to audit the government and find out all the shit that they're spending on, man. You don't understand. I've been begging for this. And finally, we're getting it. Because we all knew. We all knew where our money was going. Holy Lordy. All right. Well, we got the jobs numbers from when Joey was in office, right? I created 12 billion new jobs. So here's the jobs report. And Democrats will blame Donald Trump for this because they're idiots. The Labor Department issued its January jobs report on Friday, revealing that last month of Biden's presidency was another instance of the Biden administration's falling short, and that the revised monthly average for jobs in all of 2024 had been what? Oh, it was overstated. Oh, Joey, you idiot. Do you understand how many things were constantly overstated by Joe Biden and his administration? How many times have we done an article where, I'm sorry, yeah, we overstated it by 700,000 people? It's unbelievable. Yo, let's see this one. Let's see how much they overstated it. And hand to God, I really don't know. 143,000 jobs were added in January, which fell short of economic forecasts for the month. The revised monthly average for all of 2024 is 166,000 jobs, less than previously thought. With upward revisions to November and December, January looks like a step down. So glad he's gone. Guy sucked, man. Really reamed us, you know what I mean? Joey really reamed us. Well, let's get into a little bit of a plug here before we move on with more Donald Trump news. We got the sponsorship from Rumble, and one, as we've talked about, is incredibly important to the survival of the company, folks. When Rumble first started in 2013, it's been over a decade. They built a platform for small creators such as myself, where They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought that platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted to it, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. Zuckerberg admitted to censoring conservatives. And they also fell to the pressure of the Biden-Harris administration. But Rumble did not, folks. They held the line. They stood strong. They are attacked daily for it, giving us a voice to talk to you fine patriots, you fine people. And they are also attacked in corporate media. They're attacked by governments like France. They're attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them, which is like unbelievable that they're being uplifted by patriots here because the corporations don't want to give them any advertising. Corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble, baby, is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in the fight and you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Now, this is really important, folks, because in March, I'm going to be doing premium only shows, about 5 hours a month of premium only shows. I want to be clear on that. 5 hours a month of premium only shows. So if you're not a premium member, you won't be able to watch. But the other 25 hours you will. So basically our daily podcast, you'll be able to watch, but the premium will be like on a Saturday or Sunday. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble's offering $10 off promo code STUDIO. When you purchase an annual subscription, go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means, folks, and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy that you're here watching us over at Rumble. So I kind of want to clarify that again. Right now, I'm trying to get into becoming a partner with Rumble. I have to meet certain requirements. One of those requirements is 30 hours of streaming a month. But 5 of those 30 hours. So I'll do 25 hours like our normal show here, meaning you'll be able to watch it. You won't miss anything. But then 5 hours I have to do on Rumble Premium alone. So that would change things. So you'd have to have Rumble Premium. I mean, that's not going to be anywhere else. It's not going to be on X. It's not going to be on TikTok. It's not going to be on YouTube. Just Rumble alone. So just want to be clear. You guys aren't going to miss the show. But we'll be doing special shows, which is nice because if it's only on Rumble Premium, baby, you guys in the chat could go freaking full blown. Well, I've been waiting for this crap because I live in the state of California. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. Back to plastic straws. So tired of these freaking paper straws, man. They fall apart. They taste like crap. Ugh, God, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. President Trump said on Friday that he would sign an executive order next week ending the federal government's ridiculous push for paper straws. Last year, the Biden administration announced that it would phase out single-use plastic utensils such as cutlery, cups, straws across federal departments. Just shows you where his priorities were. What an idiot. The move was part of the Biden's ambitious actions to end plastic pollution, the New York Post reported. Why don't you go talk to other nations, Joe? I'm so tired of these climate extremists. America's polluting. America is ruining the world. Go look at India. Go look at China. Go look at those countries. Go look at all the tires. The thousands of tires they burn in the Middle East, and come talk to me then. It's always about shooting ourselves in the foot. I'll be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic. Thank you, sir. Obviously, yes, they don't work. And we all have had to suffer here in the state of California. And I'm like, when I say nails on a chalkboard for me, I can feel the straw in my teeth right now, and I hate it. I hate it. So I can taste it. Going back to common sense, give me a plastic straw. You know, there's that famous middle school kid that did a study, right? He did a study. This is back to when this is still when Democrats still believe in like children doing things. Did a study going, oh, there's paper straws killing tons of turtles. If you look at the study, folks, it was you could tell it was done by a child. But Democrats like, oh, gotta listen to him, like Greta Thunberg, right? You lose. You're gonna kill all of us in 2 years. We're all gonna die. But yet we're sitting here. Same with AOC, right? If you just swap out the voice, AOC was doing the same thing. We're all gonna die. We're not gonna live. We're still around. We're still here. They've been saying this since the 70s. Everybody's still alive. Nothing's happened. Well, Biden administration gave university $5 million to combat misinformation and harassment of so-called experts. Come on, Joe. A grant from the National Science Foundation went to George Washington University to police so-called misinformation and harassment online. The amount of management that your taxpayer dollars went to funding all of this stuff, to suppress conservatives, Republicans, to pay for media outlets, to uplift the Democrat Party and suppress the Republican Party is beyond, I think, what all of us even thought. Almost every major leftist newspaper, media was being funded by your taxpayer dollars to go against the Republican Party as well as Donald Trump. So much so that even our own intelligence apparatus was being funded by USAID to the tune of millions of dollars to go after and fabricate information about Donald Trump. Everything you've heard over the last decade from Democrats, definitely over the last 4 years of Joe Biden's administration to keep us safe here, was funded by all of us to go against the very foundation, the very values that we believe in as a country. Unbelievable. Meaning the entire Democrat Party is completely fake. This whole narrative about trans and the wokeness and the DEI and social ESG scores, environmental social governance scores, all this stuff, you guys, was fabricated. The only reason it got as big as it did was because this dude right here, Joey, and the Democrats were funneling billions of dollars to pay for all this stuff. Remember, you guys, when we were looking at Black Lives Matter and they were burning down our cities, and you're like, how the hell, like, where are all these people coming from? Like, how are they all have armor? How do they all have all this stuff, but yet they don't have the money to buy themselves food, so they have to go steal it? Where are they getting a $500 helmet from? Where are they getting all this gear? How are they camping out? How are they surviving? You're seeing how all this happened. All of us were paying for it. That's how they're getting it. Why are all these Hamas protesters out there? Probably because the government was funding it. Why are these college students having all this stuff coming in? Probably being funneled. All of it was completely fabricated. The grant, which began in 2022, allocated $5 million to George Washington to address the links between two significant problems impacting trust in contemporary communication systems: the broad and rapid spread of misinformation, abuse and harassment directed at members of expert communities. This is where we're spending our money. This stupid crap right here. And I'm going to say it again. $36 trillion in debt, Democrats. No, it's a good use of money. It's a very good use of money. If you're an idiot. We need to find out how misinformation spread. Maybe you should look at yourself. I'm not talking about the Patriots here. I'm talking to Democrats. Look in the mirror. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Talk about spending millions on illegal immigrants. If you're just joining us, USAID last week, or no, sorry, wow, not USAID, FEMA last week spent $60 million on illegal immigrants getting hotels. All the while, people in North Carolina, sorry, you get to sleep in a tent, in the mud, in the cold. Your own country, and you're treated as... You want to ask backwards, this party is the Democrat Party. They treat illegal immigrants as if they're citizens, and they treat Americans as if they're illegals. Well, what are we spending here? Oh, more of your hard-earned money going out the window. Oh, goody. Except it's not $5 or $10,000. It's just in the millions and billions. Yeah, nothing to see here. The reason why I say nothing to see here is that's what Democrats are saying. Oh, it's only 0.007% of our budget. Who cares? As a finance guy, as an accountant, I really just... The government is spending $22 million to help illegal immigrants get COVID vaccines. I can't, Jesus Christ. Of course, it's a left-wing organization, you guys. Why would it be a conservative Republican? We don't believe in this stuff. The left-wing organization is set to receive more than $22 million from the United States government for a campaign that encouraged illegal aliens to receive the COVID-19 vaccination. The Daily Wire has learned nearly 19 million of the 22.4 million grant from the Department of Health and Human Services has already been paid out. Oh, lovely. To support the left-wing nonprofits. There you go. So you know how much these administrative services cost, right? Just to run one of these nonprofits, meaning all this money is not necessarily going to illegals. It's also going to people, these freaking evil, scummy people running these nonprofits. To expand vaccination, which will focus on vulnerable populations within the Latino community, including illegal aliens. Gotcha. And you know what Democrats are going to do? Be aware of this, folks. This is what's going to happen, and it is happening. What Democrats are going to do is they're going to say, oh, look, Donald Trump spent $22 million on COVID vaccines to illegals. And Trump's going to be looking around like, I didn't even know that was happening. Because Democrats have created such a spider web of money being funneled everywhere that, you know, if I was to take a handful of spaghetti and I was to throw it at my wall right here, yeah, I can clean up the mess that I see. But over time, like, right, there's going to be like spaghetti maybe like behind me. Somehow it's going to be like on my back, you know, stuff that you can't even see. This would be case in point. There's a lot of things that's going to happen over the next 4 years, you guys, that's not even Trump's intention, that he didn't know about. And what the mainstream media is going to do is they're going to fabricate and go, oh, he's for all this stuff. Wow. Oh, he's crossing his own base. Be aware of that. Don't be fooled by the media. And I know we all won't be. And I'll be here to call it out. But that's what's going to happen big time. Oh, this is what's happening. Trump isn't actually pro-American. Look, he's taking care of the illegals. This is something he spoke out against. That's the crap they're going to pull, folks. That is the crap they're going to pull. And they're already trying to do it to you. And they're also trying to break apart the greatest tag team that's ever existed in American history. That's what we saw here with the Times Magazine. Time cover reveals media's desperate to drive wedge between Trump and Musk. And they know it too. And how do I know that they know it? Because Elon was talking about it on X, where this kind of storyline, this narrative that's being portrayed right now by the Daily Wire is also being portrayed by, you know, talked about in terms of by every media outlet really out there. And so he was talking about it because people were mentioning it on X going, hey, they're trying to turn Trump on Musk and vice versa. Because look, Trump doesn't like the fact Trump's president. Okay. Trump is the alpha. Trump likes to be the man, right? He's the guy in the room. He doesn't want to see somebody else sitting behind that resolute desk like Elon. But here's the thing. When you're bros, you know that who's boss and daddy's boss here. Okay. But they're trying to tear them two apart. And Elon was talking about it. Elon knows what's going on. And so does Trump. Elon lives in the White House right now. The dude's in the Oval Office with a big old Trump MAGA hat on, dancing around for Trump. Trump presses the Diet Coke button. Yeah, hey, Cynthia. Yeah. Get Elon in here. I need him to dance for me. I'm bored. I just got done blowing up a munitions depot in Iran. I need a Diet Coke and I need Elon to dance in a red hat. You know that's not too far off what probably happened. Dance for me, Elon. Now, if you're new to the show, I'm not making fun of Trump. We're having a good time here. I voted for the guy 3 times. I've been with Trump since day one, okay? So calm down. People always write to me. They go, I like your show, but I don't like that you make fun of Trump and do his voice and things like that. Then, well, one, it's not the show for you. Again, we don't do this for a living. If I did it for a living, then yeah, I'd ask you to, hey, stick around a little bit. But I do this for fun and people like it. Like when I go, Doge, people like it. Right? People like it. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, as always, hit that like button. If you're really enjoying what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, folks. We're over at Rumble. We're over on X. We're over on TikTok. Let me tell you, join TikTok right now because that video is going viral again. Now, as Democrats join, oh, I got to read this. So, forgive me. Over the latest cover of Time Magazine, it's an indication legacy media outlets are going out in their attempt to drive a wedge between President Donald Trump and the driving force behind the Department of Government Efficiency billionaire Elon Musk, as Democrats join in many cases gleefully foment the collective panic over Doge's efforts thus far to reduce the cost and size of the government. Media outlets are showing their stripes instead of acknowledging that government, or American taxpayers rather, might not want to fund LGBT activism in Guatemala or a trans opera in Colombia. Media outlets seem content to feed the Democrat narrative and even create them when necessary. So here's the picture that I was referring to. There's Elon Musk behind. And there was a question by a reporter with, I believe, the Japanese prime minister was in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't even know Time Magazine was still in business. I haven't read them for a while." Because Trump's a savage. So that's what's going on there. They're trying to split them up. And you're seeing hit campaigns. Again, who's funneling all this stuff? Probably George Soros. So we got more news coming for you, folks. We ain't going anywhere. We have here more news. And the question people are asking is, will Mexico face a hot shooting war with the cartels? So there's a bunch of idiots on X right now. And that's why I really want you guys in there, because you got to back your boy up. I need you guys in the comments section with me. I'm by myself in some of these videos. I did a video talking about how the Mexican president folded like a lawn chair to Donald Trump. I said she bent the knee and kissed a finger, and a lot of Mexicans lost their crap. And they were coming at me in the comments. There's thousands of comments of Mexicans. Trump was the one that bent the knee. Who called who? Well, when somebody clogs up your voice machine, you got to call them back so they shut up. And they go, no, Trump lost the negotiations with Mexico with the tariff war because she already had 10,000 troops at the border. And you try to explain to these idiots how things have worked because they don't go on the internet and actually research things. So what happened was in 2019, Donald Trump had Mexico send 10,000 troops to the border. Then in 2021, Joe Biden asked Mexico to keep the troops there. And so they're going, well, there's already 10,000 troops at the border. Correct, because of Donald Trump sent them there. And they go, well, Joe Biden sent troops there. He negotiated. No, he didn't. He asked the Mexican president to keep them there. The same troops that were sent by Donald Trump. That's the ones they wanted to keep there. That's the ones that are there now. These knuckleheads don't get the fact that in the new negotiation, Trump says, hey, send another 10,000. So let's do it together for them, folks. Let's all do it as patriots. We can put our hands up together for them. What's 10,000 plus another 10,000? Let's do it together. 10,000 plus another 10,000. All right, guys, take off your shoes. I think we can do the math. Well, will Mexico face a hot shooting? Let's see. The chosen political slogan of Mexico's last and current president, hugs, not bullets, is often embraced to describe official government policy toward the country's ultra-violent drug trafficking cartels. The beauty of this slogan is that it requires no explanation. The reverse, however, bullets, not hugs, is probably up next, whether Mexico likes it or not. President Donald Trump has just forced Mexican president to capitulate to a threat of 25,000 trade tariffs on Mexican exports unless she uses military force to suppress the flow of fentanyl, which is why there's that 30-day grace period for these tariffs. And they're saying, oh, well, Donald Trump caved. He didn't want the tariffs. Are they dumb? Their economy is a joke. Their country is falling apart. Their country's ran by a bunch of criminals. And they're going to sit here and act like they're holier than thou, that they're better than us. Nobody's better than America, baby. We're the best country. Sorry. And that's the nice thing is when you're in a dynasty like America, when you're number one so much, so often, all you have to do is just troll and mess with them. And they know it. When you go, sorry, we have the best military force. I mean, yeah, you can send 10,000 troops, but that's no different than the Girl Scouts here. Okay. Like you have people walking around aimlessly like a bunch of zombies. It's not like our military. And they go, oh, well, what about Afghanistan, Iraq? And then I bring up, always use this one, you guys, because I'm telling you it's going to demolish every argument. Yeah, well, let's talk about the Gulf War, how we beat the third largest military in the world in human existence in a span of 2 weeks. And then they'll go, oh, well, the war lasted 7 months longer. yeah, you got to play with your food. I mean, hell, if you're going to send billions of dollars of military equipment out there, you better do some, at least some extra work. Okay. You can't just show up and get everything done in a matter of a couple of weeks here and go, oh, well, we're done. Got to send y'all back. Have some fun, boys. And they're going to take that the wrong way. Like, oh, you mean that you're just slaughtering people for 7 months? No, we threw over governments, we cleaned out buildings, replaced some things, built some airstrips, stuff like that. Well, the reverse, again, bullets, not hugs. The deployment of Mexican troops, however, is quite different from previous ones, in which the main mission was to show illegal immigration only including during Trump's first term and throughout the Biden term. For this one, the Trump mission demand is, as State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce put it recently, that Mexico needs to dismantle transnational criminal organizations, halt illegal migration, and stem the flow of fentanyl and precursor chemicals from China. I don't think Mexico is going to be able to do this. I think in the next 30 days, we might see these tariffs implemented again. Now, it depends what's going on the global stage. Trump might have his feet kind of, he's too dispersed right now. He wants to own Gaza. He has to take care of Iran. He's trying to figure out crap with Canada still. Then he has Mexico. He still has to deal with China. Like, all these things are going on, and it's a lot. So for all I know, even though Mexico's not keeping their end of the bargain, because he's kind of spread so thin, he might say, look, we have our military at the border. They are building border wall. They're putting up razor wire on our side of the fence, which, let me explain why, because people are asking, why are we putting razor wire on our side of the fence and not Mexico's? Well, one, you can't put razor wire on the side of Mexico if that's Mexico's side. And furthermore, I understand there is a little bit of a gap, but also it's so that when you hop over the wall, which is what some of them are doing, and then they try to rappel down, you're going to just fall into razor wire. So that's why it's on our side, so that if you try to climb over it, which you can, it's difficult, but you can, you're just going to freaking cut yourself up and you're going to get stuck because there is a lot of razor wire. And remember how we were told not to use razor wire because people are going to cut themselves on it? Do you guys remember that from Karine Jean-Pierre to Peter Doocy, where they're going, why are you having the Border Patrol remove razor wire? And she goes, well, because it's hazardous and illegal immigrants can cut themselves on it. No shit, really? Huh. We should only bring in the best and brightest. If you're not able to comprehend that razor wire is going to cut the shit out of you, you're not the best and brightest by default. So turn back around. We only want the best and brightest. So what has been happening is Border Patrol has been shot at by the Mexican cartels. And what Donald Trump needs to do is send in tactical teams to take out these cartels. Now, you might think, oh, well, I'm not for sending boots in, Brad. That makes me a little nervous. It's basically a training mission for our SEAL teams, our Rangers, and stuff like that. These are cartels. These people aren't overly trained. Some of them are, but they're mostly just thugs, like gang members, basically, in those other countries. Well, we also have this here, and somebody asked, I think it was Pat last week, asked me, Brad, are you on the site? Are you actually here? Because you plug it, but I don't see you on there. No, I've been on there for years. We're talking about Truth Social, baby. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, entertainment, then check out Truth Social. Donald Trump's social media website. You'll be getting breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures like myself. I'm kidding. But you really will be getting breaking news and top stories from top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social posts, then get on Truth Social today. Join a growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Make your voice heard. Join the movement. Join Truth Social. Donald Trump's on there. All the major political figures like Charlie Kirk, Daily Wire, the Hodge twins, like everybody's on Truth. A lot of our stuff just gets siphoned to different areas, but it's definitely a great base point because definitely Donald Trump posts on Truth Social first. And he's transparent. He's no type of guy that's going to hide from you. He wants to get the truth out there. He wants to get truth to the American people, and he has been doing it for ever. All right, let's get to the dessert, huh? We've been appetizing it up. We've been stuffing our faces with A5 Wagyu. Well, let's get into a little bit of what's happening here. Trump making America great again. The Japanese were here, and damn, the investment that's happening right now in U.S. steel is bonkers. He's the king of negotiations, folks. The art of the deal. And it pisses Democrats off when you shove that in their faces that he's a billionaire. The guy's built skyscrapers. So Donald Trump builds skyscrapers. Joe Biden craps his pants. Easy pick all day. Easy pick all day. President Donald Trump announced that Japan's Nippon Steel would invest heavily in U.S. steel rather than purchase the company. What the Japanese prime minister said was Donald Trump is scary. Donald Trump is intimidating. But when he did meet him, he really valued Donald Trump's kindness, his hospitality, and how much he valued how much Donald Trump cares about America. If you didn't see this press conference, I really highly recommend that you do, because he had, very, very nice things to say about Donald Trump. So the purchase of the company, reversing a $15 billion takeover proposal blocked by the Biden administration. And it just shows you, Joe didn't do anything. And as I've emphasized before, this comes from OAN, where outside the Oval Office, and I promise there's a point to this, outside the Oval Office, there's a Marine. And the only purpose of the Marine to stand there is to show a designation that there is the president working inside the Oval Office. When the Marine isn't there, guess what? That means the president isn't where? In the Oval Office. And it was stated that the Marine was hardly ever outside the Oval Office. Whereas there's a Marine pretty much standing almost at all hours outside the Oval Office, because Donald Trump only sleeps like 4 hours a night. Joey didn't do that. How are you going to broker a deal when you're in your sleep, Joe? In early January, then President Joe Biden blocked Nippon's bid for U.S. steel over national security concerns. President Biden said at the time that the acquisition would place one of America's largest steel producers under foreign control and create risk for our national security and our critical supply chains. Okay, like that's fine, but where's the negotiation after? Although President Trump agreed with Biden's decision, there you go. That's why it's okay. Friday's announcement comes as what Trump deems a mutually beneficial compromise between both sides. They'll be looking at an investment rather than a purchase. They've agreed to invest heavily in U.S. steel as opposed to own it. So Donald Trump brokers a deal. It benefits both sides. Japan is one of our allies. By the way, it's nice to have allies on that side of the country, that side of the world. And it also benefits relations between the two nations. And that's what we need, because Joe Biden showed how weak we were, and we can't always rely on other countries for all our stuff. And now that you have an investment in here, we got U.S. steel pumping again. We're going to have oil pumping again. We're going to have a lot of these precious metals pumping again. And it's all thanks to Donald Trump negotiating all these things. And it's funny that when you have somebody that's an alpha, when you have Donald Trump that wants to make America great again, you get stuff that's going to make America great again. When you have a guy that wants to nap time with the CPAP machine on and only work for 3 hours out of the day, half of those hours are him just putting his shoes on, well, you're not going to get anything done, and you're going to drive the country into the ground. So it's nice to see all this stuff happening that's benefiting all of us finally. All of us. And what we've been praying for, and the Lord answered our prayers. Lord answered our prayers big time, folks. If you're not a believer, well, become one. I don't know. Christ is king. That's all I can say. Well, let's jump into this. Here you go. You think you guys are going to like this a little bit. ICE arrests 11,000 illegal aliens in first 18 days of Trump administration. Did I not tell you I was going to give you dessert? This is like a chocolate lava mousse cake topped with ice cream, cherries, the whole bit. Now, to be fair, I'd like to see this as 1 day, not 18 days, but I'll take what I can get for now, okay? The fact that it's even happening, I'm floored with. President Donald Trump's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has racked up 11,000 illegal alien arrests, most of them which are criminals. I've heard different reporting that half of them are, now you understand what I mean when I say not criminals. They are criminals, but I mean in terms of like violent, like raping people. Half of them are kind of like, I hate to say ordinary people, but you understand what I mean. Ordinary people, they came here illegally, they wanted a better life, you send them back. A lot of those, let's say 6,000 of them, roughly 5,000 to 6,000, are rapists, gang members. Oh, here you go, you have it down here. The figure reported in your post includes a multitude of violent criminal offenders and members of gangs and cartels. This is why I don't really read the articles, because based on everything we already know, we could just fill in the gaps. You don't have to read it to know that there are violent gang members in there. The arrests have resulted in the capture of Mendoza in Rio Grande Valley, Texas, with ICE explaining that the man, a previously deported Mexican national, a hired killer working on behalf of the Gulf of Cartel, or Gulf of the Gulf Cartel. I didn't even know it was a thing. Oh, so all the Democrats in there, this is who they want to keep in your neighborhoods. Yeah. No, you should have that guy babysit your kids. That's fine. Oh, he's a hired hitman. Oh. No, what's the problem? Yeah, go out to dinner, have a good night, let him take care of your kids. Oh, he's a rapist too, probably? What's the matter? No, you want to leave him here so he can harm all our families. Why don't you have him live in your house, take care of your family then? We all know why. It's funny whenever you bring up the rapists, the murderers, the serial killers, the drug traffickers, right? All these cartel guys, the violent gang members that rape little girls and fondle them and do all this weird shit that Joey basically did too, like sniff children. All of a sudden, they don't want to talk to you anymore and they scurry away. You want to know why they do that? They do that because they have to come to terms and to grips that their foundation, the bedrock, everything that they believe in, that foundation of that Democratic Party that they so-called believe in, it just completely crumbles. And when something crumbles and you have to actually face the truth and you have to face the reality of the very harmful and negative things that you helped impose by your vote, well, at that point, you just have to run away because it's a lot easier to do that than it is to look at yourself, refine it, change it, and then ultimately vote Republican. Now, I'm not saying Republicans haven't done evil stuff. People misconstrue that all the time. I told you this show is biased. Have Republicans done evil things? Absolutely. Purpose of this show is to highlight the evil things that Democrats have done. Welcome. I've always said I'm biased here. If somebody goes, oh, well, you're a biased news site. No shit. Have you not read my book? You probably haven't. Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Completely biased book. Focuses on the left, destroying America, and promulgating conservative American values to all the readers. So a bunch of arrests here, bunch of arrests. MS-13 violent gang members, they're in possession of child pornography, acts of terrorism. And as I mentioned, Democrats want this stuff in their neighborhoods. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't vote for it. And that's why they're out there protesting in the streets, right? They want all this stuff. And speaking of protests, we got federal unions here seek to strip buyout offer from federal workers. So as part of the plans to improve the efficiency and reduce the size of the federal government, which is what you would want as a Republican party, more so as a conservative party, President Trump offered federal employees a generous buyout effectively equal to about 8 months of pay, and benefits worth $122,000 on average. Oh my goodness. Now that seems like a lot of money, and don't get me wrong, it is a lot of money, but believe it or not, it's kind of like illegal immigration, whereas you'd be saving money in the long term. So it's kind of like, hey, we'll buy you out now, but we already know we're going to be making this money back. We're going to be good. It saves money at the end of the day. Federal employees who originally had until February 6th to accept the buyout offer were scheduled to stop working at the end of this week. And I think now is today. I got to see. I think the day was, where's my watch at? What's today? 10th? I think it's today. I think they just extended it through today. Let's see. I don't know if it has a date in here. We're scheduled to stop working at the end of this week, despite federal employee unions urging them not to take the buyout. An estimated 20 to 40,000 federal workers have accepted the offer. But a federal judge delayed the implementation. I thought it was, there it is, until at least February 10th. That's today. That's today. With federal employee unions at the helm of the lawsuits, it must be that the buyouts would harm federal employees, right? Except you're wrong. The buyout offers a win-win for federal employees. Those who want to buy out can take it and enjoy 8 months of pay and benefits without having to do a single thing. By the way, it's nothing different than they've already been doing. They haven't been working. Only 6% of the federal government shows up to the office. I'm going to say that again because it seemed like maybe I misspoke. I didn't. 6% of the federal workforce shows up to the office, and we're paying for all those buildings. If you're not going to show up, lease out those buildings to somebody else so that we can make money and pay down our national debt. Those who don't want the buyout nevertheless benefit from it, as the more people who take it, the smaller are their chances of being laid off. No one has to take the buyout. It's entirely optional. Taking it is far better than being laid off, of course, but with no severance, they're through reorganizations or a reduction in workforce, both of which the Trump administration noted are coming. Oh yeah, there's going to be massive layoffs. See you later, Sarah Knuckers. See you later, Sarah Knuckers. That was good. All right, folks. That's it. That's all I got for you. I mean, we have quite a bit more up here, but that's it. That's the show. Kind of end like on an abrupt note, but I realized that it was past 7 o'clock and I got to go to work. I'm having too good of a time. I couldn't believe what time it was. So what you saw in a real-time moment right now, that pause, was me having a realization of, oh crap, I got to get off. Thank you so much for always joining me here every single morning. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, weekdays, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As you see, we go over a lot of freaking news so that you're somewhat equipped when you listen to your other podcasts or news shows throughout the day, or at least you have awareness of what the hell's going on. And if you enjoyed what you're seeing here and you think we deserve a subscription, it's absolutely free. Just hit that subscribe button. Follow us over at Rumble, Twitter, and also TikTok. I need you guys in TikTok to slap some liberals around for me, okay? So follow me create an account and follow me over there, because I need you in the comments section, and I need the Bald Brad army going strong. It can't just be me on the front lines by myself. I need my brothers and sisters out there with me, storming the beaches of liberalism and defeating it. So head over to TikTok, toss me that follow, get in the comment section, slap some liberals around, and give them a little bit of truth, folks, and piss them off a little bit. With that being said, have a lovely day. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. And let's make America great again together, patriots. I'll see you next time here on The Bald Brad Show. Take care.